Kathleen Shannon and Emily Thompson. Being Boss. Take control of your work and live life on your own terms. Narrated by Rosalind Tordesillas and Oliver Maines.
Many people dream of leaving the 9-to-5 behind and becoming their own boss. But dreaming and doing are two very different things, and turning that dream into reality can feel impossible without guidance. Consider these blinks your compass. They offer practical tips and advice to help you set up your business and carve out quality time for the things that matter to you.
Blink 1 of 6.
Here's a question. How many people do you think are happy and engaged in their jobs? 60%? 50%? The actual figure might surprise you. According to analytics firm Gallup, only 30% of American employees are engaged and enthusiastic about their work. It's no wonder many people want to start their own business. But making the switch from employee to boss isn't without its challenges. For example, how do you put together a business plan and create structure? And what about making time for all the things that matter to you, like family, friends, and hobbies? As overwhelming as this all sounds, it's not impossible. You can build a successful business and live a fulfilling life. It's what the authors call being boss.
The key message here is, being boss requires intention, commitment, and trust in the process.
Being boss means intentionally creating the life you want, both in and outside of work. You don't just build your business and pay the bills. You also invest in the relationships, experiences, and lifestyle that allow you to thrive. And the great part is that defining these aspects is entirely up to you. It could mean only doing the work you feel passionate about, building a business with strong values and beliefs, or having the freedom to travel. But however you define the details of being boss, getting there requires hard work. And the only way to get through it is by committing to enjoying and trusting the process. When you relish in the process, it's easier to make the necessary changes, from rethinking your career to adjusting your home life. And when you trust that everything you're doing will pay off in the long run, you're less likely to worry or feel anxious about it. So how exactly do you establish the commitment and trust that will mean you end up with the work and life of your dreams? Well, you need the right foundations. Talking with different entrepreneurs and creatives, the authors noticed several recurring ideas that they pinpoint as the foundations of being boss. In the following blinks, we'll explore each of these themes and how to leverage them on the journey to working for yourself and living a fulfilling life.
Blink 2 of 6.
Meet Marianne and Troy, two people who dream of starting their own design businesses. Naturally, they're both unsure about making the leap. They worry that their ambitions are far-fetched and that they don't have what it takes to succeed. But that's where the similarities end. While Troy lets the uncertainty win and abandons his dream, Marianne faces it head-on and works toward her vision. The magic that differentiates Marianne from Troy is her mindset.
Here's the key message. Values, confidence, and positivity make up the boss mindset.
Having the right mindset is essential for tackling the challenges that come with being an entrepreneur. At the core of that mindset are the values or principles that guide your decisions and actions. For instance, people who value courage regularly do things that scare them, while people who value authenticity prefer meaningful conversations over small talk. To discover what your own values are, Think about the things that resonate with you and write down as many as possible. Maybe you value honesty, stability, and creativity, for example. If you need some inspiration, you can find lots of lists online. Reflect on when you felt happiest and most fulfilled, and note which of the values you recognize in those moments. Next, group similar values together and consider which ones are more important to you. A good way to do this is by asking whether you'd fight to defend a particular value. Narrow the list down until you've identified 5 to 10 core values. But the right mindset isn't just about following your values. You also need to overcome imposter syndrome. That's the feeling that you don't have what it takes to create the life you want. Even the most successful people experience imposter syndrome, and tackling it requires building your confidence. Start by focusing on the qualities and skills you love about yourself, and think about them regularly. It can also help to repeat positive mantras or affirmations to yourself. And speaking of positivity, this is another component of a boss mindset. Complaining often or dwelling on the negative is unproductive and takes a toll on your work and personal life. To foster a more positive outlook, practice meditation. This helps you become aware of your thoughts so that you can start changing them. Lastly, encourage positivity by taking the time to be thankful for all the good things you already have in life.
Blink 3 of 6.
Imagine you want to try your hand at gardening. After reading up, you plant a few seeds in a section of your backyard. You water and fertilize the garden as often as you need to, but your plants aren't thriving, and you quickly realize why. Other people have planted their own seeds in the garden, and since you only have so much water and fertilizer to go around, your plants are struggling to get enough nutrients and care. The solution is simple. You have to put up a fence to protect your garden and conserve your resources. The same applies on the journey to being boss.
This is the key message. Protect your interests and resources by establishing clear boundaries.
Boundaries are rules you put in place to ensure that you have the time and space you need to nurture the things that matter to you. For example, deciding not to check emails during weekends and on vacations, or turning down opportunities that don't serve your best interests. Think about it. It's impossible to do everything, and trying only leads to stress and eventually burnout. Like a fence protects a garden, boundaries protect you and your valuable time, energy, and resources. To establish your boundaries, figure out exactly what it is you want to nurture. Sure, you want to make your business successful, but you might also want to dedicate more time to your family or take up creative projects on the side. When you're clear on your priorities, you can focus more time and energy on them and away from anything that drains you or isn't important. You can also create tangible boundaries in your work and personal life. These include having dedicated working hours and a space to work from, for instance, or setting guidelines for spending your money. Once you've determined what your boundaries are, the next step is communicating them to those around you. Clearly explain your boundaries to the relevant people, whether they're business partners, clients, or family and friends. And remember, to make sure that people respect your boundaries, you need to be disciplined about respecting them yourself. So, if you've told clients that you don't respond to emails over the weekend, the last thing you should be doing is sending emails on a Saturday morning.
Blink 4 of 6.
Consider this scenario. Michael and Natalie run similar businesses. Michael wakes up at the same time every day, exercises, and then gets to work. He starts with the most urgent projects, takes timed breaks, and ends the day responding to emails. Natalie, on the other hand, wakes up at random times and spends an hour or two scrolling on social media. She then fumbles through her work, switching between projects and taking long breaks. Knowing all this, would you be surprised to learn that Michael gets the most done and has a more successful business?
The key message here is creating healthy habits and routines sets you up for success.
Habits and routines make you a lot more efficient and help you reach goals effectively. This is because when you know exactly what needs to be done and when, you don't waste time figuring out your next step. Additionally, habits and routines allow you to structure your days in fulfilling ways, making the daily grind feel more like the daily dream. Mornings set the tone for the day, so they should be your first priority when establishing a routine. And you can tailor your morning setup to fit your needs. Think about what makes you feel good, energized, or grounded in the morning. And ask yourself if there's anything you currently do that has the opposite effect. Use this information to create a routine that helps you start the day off right. And while getting into your new morning routine, think about forming habits that are good for your mind and body. After all, if you're not healthy or in the best state of mind, how can you run your business well? Start by watching what you put inside your body. You should drink enough water and eat a diet consisting mostly of organic fruits and vegetables and unprocessed meat. It's also important to get at least 8 hours of sleep so that you're well rested. Creating a nightly routine to wind down is a great way to ensure this. The last habit you need to establish is setting goals regularly. This helps you determine what success looks like for you. Set goals that are specific, measurable, and actionable. Like bringing in 10 clients within a certain number of months, for example. Your goals should also be rewarding so that you feel good when you accomplish them and while you're working toward them.
Blink 5 of 6.
Remember that garden from earlier? Let's revisit it for a moment. After doing your research, you decide on the types of vegetables you'd like to grow. Then you build a fence around the garden, prepare the soil, and plant the seeds. But instead of watering and fertilizing the garden like you're supposed to, you simply wait for the seeds to grow. It's very unlikely that you'll get much out of your garden with this approach. If you want a good harvest, you can't just sit back and do nothing. And your business is exactly the same.
Here's the key message. To get the most out of your business, put in the work.
No matter what kind of business you set up, one thing's for sure. It needs to make money. And the best way to make sure that happens is to do the necessary work, starting with creating a business plan. While a business plan might sound complicated, it doesn't need to be. You can put a simple one together by first deciding the purpose of your business, the products or services it'll offer, and the amount of money you aim to make in a year. Then, think what your role within the business will be, and whether you'll need to outsource anything. It's also helpful to outline how you'd like to feel while building your business. This is essential for fulfillment. Once you have your business plan, you can work on building a network of potential clients and partners. Make a list of the people you'd like to work with. The authors recommend as many as 200. Your list should include contact details such as email addresses, social media handles, and websites. When you have all the names and information, start reaching out to people, interacting with them online, and cultivating these important relationships, just as you'd cultivate the plants in your garden. A surefire way to get people's attention is by letting them know precisely what you do and how well you do it. You can do this by regularly producing content that highlights your services and positions you as an expert in your field. This content can be newsletters, blogs, social media posts, or even a podcast. By sharing good quality content and doing it consistently, you'll build a solid reputation that attracts people to your business.
Blink 6 of 6.
Here's a phrase you might have heard before. Work hard, play hard. If you're committed to being boss, you need to keep it in mind. Why? Well, being boss goes beyond hustling to build a great business. It's about taking advantage of the freedom that having that business brings you. One of the best things about being boss is being able to live the sort of life that makes you happiest. And you need to go after that freedom with the same deliberate intention that you bring to your work.
The key message is this: your life deserves as much time and effort as your business.
You need to hustle at life if you want to feel truly fulfilled. This means creating the life you want and then going out there and living it. But first, you should figure out what you want that life to look like. Maybe you'd like to go on vacations, make time to support a cause, or start a family. Or perhaps you're interested in trying different hobbies. To get clear on your desires, make a bucket list of things you'd like to do and achieve. Like your business goals, the items on your list should be as specific as possible. You can start with as few as 20 items and then add to the list as you go along. Of course, if you're going to tick things off that bucket list, you'll need time away from your business. And this is something you'll need to plan for. Take care of any unfinished projects or orders before you leave and budget accordingly for the time you'll be away. You should also tell clients or customers that you're taking a break and set up automatic email responses in case people reach out to you. To keep sharing content, write blog articles and social media posts that you can schedule in advance. In addition to taking time off for the things you'd like to do, creating a fulfilling life also means surrounding yourself with the right people. You need to be supported, challenged, and inspired by your relationships. To build such connections, put yourself out there by joining clubs or social groups with like-minded people, or use the internet to find people with whom you have things in common. Eventually, you'll have a circle of friends and peers who add meaning to your life.
You've just listened to our blinks to Being Boss by Kathleen Shannon and Emily Thompson.
The key message in these blinks is that being boss is a journey that starts with understanding your personal values and fostering enough confidence to face the challenges ahead. It's also about establishing clear boundaries and healthy routines and habits to ensure you're productive. When combined with a simple business plan, a strategy to share your expertise, and quality time for your interests, you'll find you have everything you need for a successful business and an inspirational life. And here's some actionable advice you can use right away. Make a best friend. You don't have to be alone on your business journey. Reach out to someone you get along with who's equally ambitious about life and work. Bonus points if she's also setting up her own business. Schedule regular dates with this person to share your goals, ideas, challenges, and wins with each other. Think of her as your best friend in business.
Got feedback? We'd love to hear what you think about our content. Just drop an email to remember@blinkist.com with Being Boss as the subject line and share your thoughts.